Today I'm going to show you a self-integration exercise that is excellent not only for twin flames but also anyone who is in a relationship where they feel abused. I want to point it out that if you just have broken up and you are very, very emotional, this exercise is not going to help you at the moment. You have to be in a little bit more relaxed state, although you can watch this video and just see it in the future. When is it going to be helpful for you? So this is an exercise that helped me in my healing journey, and it's going to involve 4 steps. This is going to revolve around the fact that twin flames mirror each other at the core wound, but it's expressed in 2 separate ways. And once when you are able to see that, you are going to be able to start your own healing. So it's not like, oh, I do this exercise and magic happens. It's that you start to see reality in a very, very different way, and also your relationship. And this is like your very, very first step. So in step 1, you take a pen and a piece of paper and you really channel out your pain or the abuse that you felt from your partner. And it's something that you can even spend days on it to really write everything down, that I felt he or she did that, blah blah blah, and you write down a lot of things. Let your anger come out, let your pain come out, because in reality anger is just like a covering wound over your pain, because anger is on the top, or under your anger you have sadness, and under that you have pain that is actually coming from this wound that this person has been abusing you. And in step 2, we are going to separate the behavior that is coming from the head. This is the external self. This is what is coming from their belief system. This is the behavior, what you see. And you separate the behavior part from their pain. So in step 2, you are going to see it very differently. So you have the abuse as part 1, and now you try to see what core wound, what pain can actually make a person to behave in this way. And look, it's difficult to come up with the answers for some people. So to help you to get to the wounds, I always recommend to look into the 4 attachment types. I have a few videos about it, but also I made a long video. I'm going to leave a link below that talks about the 5 core wounds of children. It's quite long. It goes on an hour, but if you don't want to watch it through, it also has an exercise at the end that helps you to identify your wounds, and from those questions you can identify your twin flames wounds as well. Sorry. But there is also a link in the description box below that takes you to my website where you can actually download it in a PDF, and it's free and no email required. You just click on it and it comes for you. So you have the core wound, or maybe wounds. What that thing is, what is that internal emotional experience, that individual experience, that pain that can make a person act this abusive way. And this is where the difficult part is going to happen. And this is where you have to pay attention if you are at this stage yet or not, because this is where the confrontation is going to happen. Because without confrontation, you cannot heal. That's one of the reasons why most of my videos are confrontational, to help you wake up. And the wound that you have found in your partner, Now you are going to go inward within you. Shift your focus from the partner within and try to find those wounds within you. And now the most difficult part is going to happen, and it's going to be step 4. And now you are going to write down on a piece of paper that those core wounds, what kind of, because this is your internal part, and now we go to the execution or external part, how abusive you might have appeared to your partner. What are those things in your behavior that maybe came across as an abuse from the partner's perspective? Because what you have to understand is that a healthy person is going to be in the middle, and you too have both some sort of an unhealthy behavior coming from these childhood wounds. And the problem is that one of you is on one side and the other of you is on the other side, and you are opposites. That's why you have so much chemistry when you are together. And from a perspective of a healed person, there is not much difference, you see, but the problem is that because you are both opposites of each other, the difference is going to be very, very huge. So the abuse can seem enormous. And when you have your partner's abusive behavior and your abusive behavior, and in the middle you have the wound, try to understand and allow the other person's pain within you, and also kind of shift. So you start to use right brain, left brain, left brain, right brain. So you try to actually use this different communication part in the brain and see your behavior from his or her perception and his or her pain from your perception, and you try to a little bit go into a process so an integration can start. And the integration is that you see both of them equally. It's not that the partner is worse or you are worse. You also have to be aware of that sometimes the partner is way too abusive and way too unaware, so you have to be able to move away. This exercise is for self-integration. It's not about staying with the partner. And as a last part of step 4, you forgive for yourself for allowing this person to abuse you, and you also forgive for this person for abusing you, so you can let this anger away, because you still have a lot of pain within you. And the only way to do that you keep processing. So it's not like I push my emotions away and I forgive. No, you have to keep processing until you get to a stage, and sometimes you have to do it multiple times, that okay, I could process it. And the way you have to process it, that you get to an understanding that the person abused you because the person didn't have the ability to treat you better. So this way you can forgive him or her and yourself as well. And the core here, this was my key problem, that this reality wants to put a blame on someone, that either the partner is to blame because the person was the bad guy or the bad girl, or if not, then I am the stupid one and I am the bad for allowing it. And there is a third option that people don't talk about, is that it's nobody's fault. So nobody takes responsibility. And at the same time, you also both take responsibility as well equally, which means that the responsibility is that you learn your lesson, and in the future you are going to change the way you see reality. You cannot change the past. That's why it doesn't worth to hurt yourself about it, but it's important to learn from this experience so in the future it won't happen again, or at least it will happen less likely or less often. And at the same time, you also understand that the partner was so abused by society or maybe an ex-partner and predominantly by the parents, that they abused you because they couldn't treat you better, because they didn't have the ability again, and you couldn't see the abuse, and you were also abusive because you were not told what to do. You didn't have the right guidelines. So basically, you let this pain go, in a sense that you allow it to heal. Because one of the key problems is that most people don't see, that they try to get back with their twin flame, is because if the person changes or the circumstances change, that would mean for them that this whole pain can go away, because this one thing has made all of it worthwhile. So that's one of the things why people cling onto a relationship. The other thing is this internal feeling. I know I've been there as well. I got stuck, very, very stuck for a very long time, until I realized this method I have just shared with you, that nothing helped. I tried so many things, and it's an awful, awful, awful part. And what you can do is that all of these emotions that are bursting in you, you have to channel them, and you have to make patterns, and you connect it into your head, and you start processing it. And it's not a 1 hour thing, it's not a 1 afternoon thing. You have to work on yourself quite a lot, and then repeat it and reinforce it, because these things are coming from a very, very young age. This is a very, very old childhood wound, which means that you have been repeating it for a very, very long time, and that means that it will take you a long time to overwrite it. But it doesn't matter how long it takes to overwrite it. What matters is that you have the ability and you have the inner strength to do that. And once when you get there, you are going to feel a lot better and more balanced. See you in my next video.